I take out from my duffel bag Dad's old brown leather wallet with plastic lacing string binding the edges. This boondoggled together wallet is the oldest artifact I found in his car. Now the binding is coming undone. The wallet is in bad shape. I couldn't believe he still had it, still was using it, until recently he had told me he replaced the wallet. I hadn't asked what he had done with this ancient one. I was surprised to find it buried under papers in the back seat of his car. The photos inside are stuck to the photo sleeves, creased from time, all reminding me of a last summer we spent as a family and the running I did with my dad at the dirt track. It's the summer I am 8, and I watch Dad drag his shoe across the dirt in a big, long scrape, perfecting our starting line, as he does each time we come to the dirt track. I stretch my legs. Mosquito bites are all over me as I took a look across the widespread vacant field. Dad and I are the only ones at the track. The sun is high, and it makes Dad's forehead look shiny. There's no shade here. My shoes crunch on the track while I stretch. The dirt track at the field behind the Zog building has been left to waste away. It's a blend of cinder, crushed gravel, and stones. There aren't any lanes. It has eroded. The path dips low in some places, with bruises as deep as a pothole. The windows on the Zog building are grainy and shadowed, so that it looks more like a haunted mansion than the very first high school in Liverpool, New York. It's named for Alfred Valentine Zog, who had been a principal here. The school closed a year before I was born, and is now in an administrative building, but it's a little spooky with the rundown open field and dirt track in the back. Dad and I just call it Zog. We are 10 minutes outside the city of Syracuse. It snows up to the steps of the door in winter, but in the summer, Dad says it is hotter than hell. Hell couldn't be hotter. At the track, he lets out a sigh and runs his hands through his poofy hair. He takes his glasses off for a moment, and with the sleeves of his shirt, he wipes the sweat off his forehead and bushy eyebrows. He doesn't like being out in the heat for too long. I worry that at any moment he will say, "That's it. That's enough of this heat." There are only a few more weeks until school starts. A few more weeks of running. The sun would go down earlier, and Dad would be busier with his work as a landlord at the White House behind ours on 6th Street, fixing anything that needs to be fixed, or listening to his sales messages on the answering machine, or he will be down in the basement where he works with his tools. The heat of the August sun would be gone. Also his voice calling me down the last stretch of track would be gone too. "You'll be really close to double digits soon," Dad says with a kooky smile. Maybe it was because I was growing older and wasn't as whiny and could run further that Dad had begun spending more time with me that summer. Maybe, though, it was because of the handcrafted brown wallet I had given him only a month before. That summer, I had taken several free arts and crafts classes at my elementary school. In one, I had learned how to make bracelets out of plastic string. In another, I learned how to use the same plastic string to sew through leather. The choices were a coin purse or a wallet. It was the first gift I had ever given him, made by hand, that he could use every day to hold his most personal items. I wanted the wallet perfect. I didn't mind being the last one finished. My hands laced the plastic thread through the pre-holed brown leather so carefully. I was looping and tightening it with each pull around the edges, binding it neatly. It was a sturdy wallet when I was done, and I opened and closed it a few times to test its durability before going home. I whacked open our screen door, bringing into our house some summer air, and presented it to Dad, beaming. His eyebrows arched above his big round glasses as he examined it. His fingers went across the smooth brown leather and strummed down each shiny bump of the plastic string. Even though it didn't shut fully on its own, and he used a rubber band to keep it shut, he always had it. It made a bulgy square in his back pocket, and was full of coupons and receipts from the little grocery store Nichols and the gas stations he went to. He quickly filled the wallet with photos of my younger sister and me, lined up side by side so they could be flipped through, When I didn't know where Dad was, or if he was too tired to get up in the morning, which was often, I could know that his wallet was with him, which meant a part of me was with him too. The summer I made the boondoggle strung wallet, Dad had begun timing me at the dirt track. If I could create a functioning wallet, he might have guessed, then I could run all the way around the dirt track. The dirt track was now new ground to suddenly build roots into. The field and track at Zog was always a second backyard, a play space to skip around. Other summers, Dad had run with me, starting me off the first 100 meters and letting me run ahead of him. Running as fast as we could was sort of a silly game then. During the 100-meter sprint, he would fade behind me, perhaps purposely, adjusting his glasses slipping off his face. When going all the way around the track seemed too big of a distance for me. Now, we take running seriously. This summer has summed up to be the most quality time I have ever spent with Dad. We had this carved out time, the walk to the track, and then the time it took me to run the 400 meters, just to bond, him and I. An hour before, I had almost lost hope we'd make it to the track today. As Dad slept on the couch, I purposely let out a big sigh in hopes that he'd hear me. The big white fans hummed throughout the house with a putter of Dad's snores. He was curled up on the couch, using the armrest as a pillow, his hair an overgrown mess. I put on my sneakers with pink hearts and double knotted them, waiting. It seemed like he was going to sleep all day. I examined my latest pottery creation on the wood credenza. I passed my drawings tacked up on the wall in the dining room. As I peered over the filing cabinet, there was Dad's wallet. I unwrapped the rubber band from around it, perfect brown string holding it together at the seams. I look at Dad's driver's license picture and count all of his receipts. The couch creaks. I wrap the wallet back up in the rubber band and put it back into its place. I step back when Dad's eyes open, bushy-haired and yawning into a stand. He smelled musty like the basement. His arms stretched up to the sky. He put on his glasses and then caught his balance. I followed him, being extra careful, quiet, and invisible, while he said those words so purposely on his way to the bathroom, as if to advise me to give him some space. He was fine wearing what he wore yesterday. He rubbed his legs, complained of some gout pain, and the need for refilling his medication. I stood there in the bathroom doorway, eager to go to the track, as he coughed heavily between toothpaste spits, leaning over the sink, his body hunched over, hacking and hacking into the sink like a wild beast. He might have thrown up. I retied my shoes tighter. He opens the refrigerator door. He shuts the door. Instead, he grabbed a handful of saltine crackers and handed me a stack. There's a cigarette behind his ear, a lighter in his pocket. Finally, he was ready to take me to the track. It's easier to move around without it, and we won't be gone for too long, he had said before we left. His wallet holding photos of me and our family wouldn't be far. We only lived 2 houses away from Zog. I bet you'll be faster this time, he said. His smile showed he had no doubt I would be. Heidi's nails clattered down the back stairs with us. She barked as we left. I line up and join Dad, so we're standing side by side. His big beetle eyes look at me, and his eyebrows rise up enthusiastically. The lines on his forehead crease deeper. I'm a little thirsty already, but I know he will tell me we can get water right after and give me a lecture about how long human beings can go without water. Remember, like this, he says. He bends his body down in race position. 1 arm forward, 1 arm back. 1 leg forward, 1 leg back. He's frozen in stride. I bend my body down and place my arms like his, as a real runner would, and his sour scent and his morning cigarettes fill the air between us. I breathe it in as a normal gust before my race against his watch. My eyes looking ahead, the sun making me squint as I stare down the first 100 meters. On your mark, dear! He's an announcer, using his favorite dignified Shakespearean accent. I wait for his next call, and he presses the buttons on his fancy sports watch that he recently purchased from a thrift store and taps the timer ready. Set? I perfect my arms. Then in a deeper voice, Dad says it all again quickly. On your mark, set, go! The beep of his watch, I dart out with a huge stride into the first straightaway, shuffling the dirt around, arms pumping fast, uppercutting the sky with my fists, small stones flipping beneath my feet. I pound the air in front of me, elbows up and stretching my stride to see how fast my legs can go during the first 100 meters. My legs are on fire. Go, running rebel, go! Dad yells after me. I feel strong, My scuffed-up shoes with small hearts were fast. My arms swing back and forth, my engines working against time. I could hear him behind me. "Remember, keep your arms high. Your arms make your legs go faster." My arms chomping down each second, jabbing the air. "Breathe, breathe, breathing makes you faster," Dad says with a bigger yell. My heart slips into the groove, my eyes looking ahead, determined to be faster this time. I'm not the girl who is so sensitive and timid when my name is called, like at school. This summer, on the dirt path, I'm braver than I've ever been. The answer is in my pulse and the rhythm of my breathing. Anything is possible with my feet jostling around the dirt. While I zoom down the first 100 meters, in the corner of my eye on the right, across the street, and over the neighbor's bushes, for a few seconds I can see the back of our house. The only mint green colored house on 5th Street. Dad's voice has become faint as I run further away, but I can hear him saying, "Keep going, keep going." I focus on the curve of the track ahead, the long one I need to be ready for. If I don't stay strong, and if I weaken there, it will change my time. I have to keep my arms high. I want to be faster than I've ever been. Dad believes I can be. The chance to be faster this time sways through my ponytail. My heart is working for it, and my skinny legs give the dirt a twitch, leaving my footprints behind. I feel taller on the track, my limbs long, breathing into the heat and gravel and the dirt as I dash forward. Dad's words anchoring my heart. I pump my arms high. I'm running with the belief of Dad at my back. He had ran track in high school and had ran the shorter distances, the sprints, the 100, 220, the 440-yard dash, and on many winning relay teams. Now the first 100 meters are behind me. I veer as if nothing could stop me into the 200-meter long bend. I run the curves of the track hard. The harder I run them, the faster I will be in the end. The curves are where the winner is made. Push the curves. Make the curves count, Dad said when we practiced. I look over across the wide open field and see Dad, a smudge of white from his shirt and blue from his cut-off denim shorts. The distance hits me. I'm alone with the liberty of dirt and air. I'm on my way, showing who I really am. It is me against my willingness to achieve, with the only place to go being further ahead. My chance in my breath, my lungs, in the strength of my arms and legs, as I probably look small, trudging around the curve, stomping over a dip and gash in the track. I'm arriving at full speed and worth a second look. While I run, the uneven line of bangs across my forehead isn't as noticeable. My bangs sway in rhythm. It didn't matter if they were sliding in one direction a little more. The constant knotty snarl in the back of my hair is pulled up and hidden in the tie of my ponytail. My second-hand shorts are suddenly good as new and kept me moving swiftly. My t-shirt with a few stains is proof that I'm hard-working. The gap between my teeth and overbite are a blur as I rush by. The small stones kicking up against my calves are only a reminder that I'm going to make it. I'm going to be faster this time. If your legs are strong, you can be just as fast, Dad would remind me during our pep talks on our way to Zog. He had told me about Muggsy Bogues, the shortest basketball player in the world. He told me about Natalie Wood, the actress in his favorite film, Rebel Without a Cause, who was only 5 feet tall. Part of the nickname Dad gave me, Running Rebel, comes from the movie that Dad loves, with James Dean playing the rebel. The numbers on Dad's watch are on my mind. My legs thump on the track, and that feeling of quitting that always shows up around here is clawing at my ankles. The longest straight stretch that goes on forever is next. My thighs are heavy, as though jugs of milk are attached to each one. I feel weighted down into the ground as I push my legs further. I try to find a song in my head, a beat to run to, a rhythm to keep me going, an oldie song that Dad sings on the window-enclosed porch at the front of our 100-year-old house. Out there he would sit, a cloud of smoke around him, holding a newspaper and a pen in his hand while singing with the radio. Each word was sung with a soft, inquiring wonder, while he wet his lips against his drink. He stuffs all his receipts from the store in his new wallet. A few dollars may be there, but it's always the same store and the same items on the receipts. And I'd remember the empty cans piled up by the back door. His voice pepped up with a handsome wink when he sang with Ricky Nelson about traveling the world. Dad was every part of the song, the bum-bum-bums in the background too, not missing a melody change. It's like geography class for me when he sang about traveling the world. His drink had become a background slurp that blended into the faster-paced rock and roll and doo-wop rhythm as he sang into another oldie song about a hound dog or a lion sleeping at night in the jungle. If I can't find Dad, he could be in the basement listening to music on the radio. It's a musty, swampy smell while I look down the stairs. Recently, I heard him scraping sandpaper against wood. Dad's bushy hair and big eyeglasses made him look like a mad scientist in the basement, more than